Spurs fans, I know it sucks, but this 1-3 start was expected. I mean, come on, did we really think we were going to beat the Mavericks or the Thunder? And split with the Rockets made sense. It's not the record that's the issue for me right now. It's what we're seeing on the court that has me concerned. It's what we're seeing on the court that's making me say, Houston, we have a problem. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Go Yankees. I'm not replacing this anytime soon. Anyway, I want to do more of a casual type video here. I don't really have anything I'm pulling off of. I just want to kind of talk to you guys about what we're seeing with our Spurs this year and what's going to need to change soon, or we're going to be losing a lot of games. Anyway, let me just get into it. And there are some positives here. There are some positives to pull. This isn't all gloom and doom. I'm going to go to Basketball Reference, and this is how, well, this is what we got so far. We're 1-3, small sample size, and our defense has actually been pretty solid. Our defensive rating is 11th in the NBA. Our defensive scoring per game is rated 8th. So that's all things considered when you factor in all the turnovers and opportunities the other teams are getting to score. Defense has actually been better than advertised. I'm very happy with that. The problem is our points per game right now is 103. That's 29th in the NBA. That is second to last. Our offensive rating is 29, which is second to last. So the offense seems extremely broken right now, and we're just, again, we're kind of winging it. We're going to take a look at the play. Whoop, I don't need to move that. I did say we're winging it. We're going to look at the player stats, and I will be moving that around a little bit here and there, so my apologies. So let's get to the per game, and this is all from Basketball Reference. I'm going to put the link in the comments if you want to check out this too. But really the players that are getting the most minutes. First thing that kind of stood out to me is Wemby's shots per game. And yes, I know he took, 5 or 6 shots last night. Took it to 0 in the second half. But he's averaging the second most shots on the team. His field goal attempts are 13.5, which is down from last year. Jeremy Sohan's taking the most shots on the team, with no disrespect to Jeremy Sohan, but he's not the number one option on the offense. So Wemby's getting less shots, and to be frank, or Rich, way too many more three-pointers. He's the second row. He's taking 13.5 shots per game, and out of those shots, almost over 5 of them are three-point shots. So that issue of him not getting the ball is back, but there's a lot of things that are contributing to it, which is why I wanted to do this video today. And first and foremost, we've talked about floor spacing on this team, and it's an issue again. Our three-point shooting is terrible. We go down the list. Jeremy Sohan, who's on the thumbnail, is shooting 20%. Wemby himself is shooting 19%. Props to Harrison Barnes, limited quantity. He's shooting 50% at the moment. Kelman is shooting 19%. CP3, 47%. Maybe you start shooting more. That's great. Julian Champagnie shooting 36%, but we're already starting, just a quick stop on Champagnie. Starting to hang his head with those missed shots. Starting to slowly regress into that player last year we kept saying should be a bench player, not a starter. I hope that trend does not continue. But you look at other players on the team. Stephon Castle, limited sample size, shooting 0. On top of that, only 28% from the field. And last but not least, Blake Wesley only shooting 20%. And the reason I bring up these shooting percentages is what we're seeing already this early in the season. And we saw it last year, and teams are going to continue to do it at will because right now they're not being penalized for it. Defenders are sagging off Jeremy Sohan, Stephon Castle, and Blake Wesley. We saw last night Wemby getting double-teamed a lot, or defender just kind of in the vicinity. This happened quite a few times last year. And for me as a Spurs fan, and I'm sure for you, it's very frustrating when your franchise guy, you can't get him the ball because defenders are swarming him. And why wouldn't you? Are you scared Jeremy Sohan or Stephon Castle or Blake Wesley are going to kill you from the perimeter? No! No, you're not. Absolutely not. You're like, whatever, go ahead and shoot, man. Yep, what I thought. Keep on shooting. Keep on firing them. And we've talked a lot on this channel about the Spurs and how they're drafting non-shooters. Some people say, yes, we are. Some people say they're not. We had to just look on what's been going the last few years. Castle, coming out of college, I think is going to be a great defender, and his offense will develop in time. But our guy needs some work on his shot. He does. He just does. The form looks fine at times, but or maybe just not going. Who knows? Sohan's shot from three-point land's been broken since he got here, and it's still looking broken. Wesley's never been able to shoot. So if we have Wemby out there on the court at the same time as Sohan, Castle, and Wesley, sure, our defense is going to be stout more than likely. Who the heck's going to score? And that's the big problem with the Spurs this year. Our scoring is awful. It feels like our offense has regressed. And I thought CP3 would be the stabilizing force coming here and help the offense, but he hasn't made a difference whatsoever. Now, I know we're missing Demisel. We do need him back as soon as possible. We're going to find out just how big of a difference maker he's going to be for this team. And if the team starts winning some games and the offense is cooking with him out there, then we should all just say, thankfully we got him for the contract we did, because look at the impact he's having. But just the shooting is not the problem. The shooting is certainly an issue right now. I mentioned it earlier with our defensive rating being good because of all the turnovers, and turnovers once again are a major issue with this team. We're not going to be able to see, you can't see who the players are because I got it so scrolled over this way to the right. But you see a lot of guys averaging over 2, Wemby averaging 3.8, and then as a team, this bottom row, I'm going to put it right next to me, right there. My friends, that is 18.8 turnovers per game in the NBA. That is second worst. I don't know who's right behind us, but that is 29th in the NBA. We are having a major issue, not only putting the ball in the hoop, but maybe just holding onto the ball in general. And we saw some of this in the preseason, and I've had people come at me and say, TSR, you're putting way too much in the preseason. It doesn't matter. Well, in this case, it does matter because we can't take care of the ball again. How are you going to win games if you can't score or even keep the ball on the offensive side? I like what I'm seeing defensively at times. I think we've made progress there, but the offense feels like it's regressing. It's getting worse. How's it getting worse? We added Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, who are, as I showed you earlier, are both shooting absolutely phenomenal from 3. They're killing it. Harrison Barnes, 50% from 3. Chris Paul, 47% from 3. That is nuts. That is absolutely a fantastic start. But then Wemby, Sohan, Kelman, and others can't hit a shot. Zach Collins is shooting 60% from 3. I just noticed it's right above me. Right there. Small sample size, but Zach is shooting 60% from 3. Malachi Branham, who looked like garbage in the preseason, has turned it around and he's hitting his shots. But our main guys, the Sohans, the Wembys, the Johnsons, can't put it in. Oh, that's bad. That did not flow the way I wanted to. Said I was winging it. So this is a video just to kind of talk about what I'm seeing, and this needs to be corrected. And this is on Pop and the coaching staff to not have lineups out there where Wemby's going to get double and triple teamed. Demisel coming back should help that significantly. My goodness, we need him back. So I want to close with this because I was live last night for the Thunder game, and there was a lot of tank talk. Guys, I respect your opinion. I won't criticize you for having a different opinion than me, but I will state my different opinion than yours because that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about our Spurs. I don't think we're tanking. I can't imagine the Spurs would want to tank after having 2 back-to-back 60-loss seasons to be tanking again. I don't know Victor Wembanyama personally, but watching him on the court and his body language, I don't think he wants to sit through another 60-loss season. Our guys that have been here a while, the Vassell's, the Johnsons, they don't want to sit for another 60-loss season. I don't think they're tanking. This 1-3 record was expected. It was. It really was. It's just what we're seeing on the court is what's got us concerned, right? As far as Wemby being a bust, seeing a Wemby talk come out now, and maybe that was because he was playing Chet Holmgren last night, but seeing talk from Spurs fans, not Thunder fans, but Spurs fans, some Spurs fans saying Wemby's a bust. I'm like, he's off to a slow start, admittedly. He looked off last night. Some were saying he was ill before the game. Maybe he was. I didn't catch any type of interview to confirm that, but if he was sick, then that certainly could contribute to him having a bad game. But to already give up on your 21-year-old, probably should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year, Rookie of the Year, unanimous Rookie of the Year, to give up on him 4 games into the season. Come on. I know we're passionate about the team, but let's dial that one back at least a little bit. And then the last thing I'm seeing a lot, and I know we're going to see this more, and this is probably one of the most sensitive subjects for Spurs fans, is I'm seeing a lot of fire pop, it's time to move on, da-da-da-da. I'm not there yet. I'm not. Because I do see we have talent issues on this team. That being said, talent issues do involve Pop and Brian Wright. And let's be honest, Brian Wright's drafting since he took over hasn't been the best. And the one I always point out is the wasted draft of 2021. I don't care Primo's off the court because of his PP. I didn't see it anyway. He was way too much of a reach. And then Joe Wieskamp lasted a whole year. to waste a draft as a rebuilding team is inexcusable. And that happened. And sure, people could say, well, we got Wemby. He drafted Wemby. Well, duh. Anybody would have drafted Wemby with that first overall pick. So we do need to better putting this, maybe that's a problem too. The roster we're putting together. Maybe it looks good on paper in our heads, but they are not functioning together well as an offensive unit. Defensively, yes, they are doing well there. I want to give them credit where credit's due. But offensively, it is not clicking, and that's on Wright, and that is certainly on Pop. And if this team continues to struggle all year, and oh my gosh, as a content creator and a fan, if they somehow lose 60 games again this year, then like it or not, there has to be serious conversation about Pop retiring. And Pop's not going to fire himself. He's not going to get fired. He's just not going to fire himself based on his position. But doing the right thing and maybe stepping down if the team is not taking any type of step forward, that would be the right thing to do. The game passes everybody by eventually. Bill Belichick was a fantastic coach with the Patriots and won, 6 Super Bowls and went to 9 of them? That is ridiculous in the NFL. But he did it. But he also did it with Tom Brady. Never did anything on his own. Pop had Tim Duncan for all the winning seasons of his career. And without Timmy, he's had, one? The first year of Aldridge and DeRozan? And since then, it's been a huge drop off a cliff. And I'm not saying it's all Pop. Please don't get into like, it's still drop. I'm not attacking Pop. But eventually, the game passes you by. And the game has changed significantly since Pop became a head coach almost 30 years ago. Back when they played defense and there weren't these little ticky-tacky touch fouls and teams weren't launching 53-pointers a game. The game has changed in many ways since he started head coaching. And I hope he turns the season around and he's here until he decides to call it a day. But if we lose 60 games again, does he just keep getting a get-out-of-jail-free card permanently? If we lose 60 games this year and 60 next year, 4 60-game losing seasons in a row. If you look at the last few years, most head coaches would have already been fired by then. But because of what he's done in San Antonio previously, and we're trusting in Pop and trusting the process, he's still here, and I hope he turns it around. I'm rambling, but I'm passionate about our Spurs. I haven't really done a long video like this where I'm just kind of going off the cuff, and I really hope they figure it out offensively. And these percentages here, my goodness, I hope for the love of Spurs Nation, they don't stay like this for a long time. There's a lot of young talent on this team. There's a lot of draft picks. I still think it's an exciting time to be a Spurs fan, but there might be more growing pains than any of us expected this year. So let's just roll with it and hope they figure it out. You know I'll be here, and I know a lot of you will be here too. So that's all I got. Drop a comment down below. Do you think I'm just concerned for no reason? Or the floor spacing issues, the turnovers? Should we have concerns already, especially since we're seeing some of the same issues from last season already this season? Let me know. Appreciate you. Be respectful in the comments because I know some people are going to be heated about this type of subject, but please be respectful. We value your opinion. I don't value calling each other names, and I don't value people being attacked for their opinions. So that's all I got. Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.
Ready,